So 1.20 is out, and today I've got 14 awesome texture packs to help you put a new coat of paint on the 1.20 Minecraft, or cheat a little bit if that's what you're supposed to do, I guess, when it comes to the first one being X-Ray Unlimited. I mean, do I need to explain this mod to you? It's very simple. All it does is it makes majority of texture packs to be transparent aside from ores, making it easier to see ores through the road, hence the reason why it's called an X-Ray texture pack. A lot of servers do ban people for using this one though, so be very wary of that. If you use it in your own vanilla world, on your own, whatever, more power to you. You play this game how you so choose, but hey, it's already updated. Next we have Mandela's GUI Dark Mode. This is just a texture pack that updates the GUI of Minecraft to enhance it a lot differently, make it dark mode in a lot of areas where it tends to be a lot brighter, recolor a lot of the hearts, and just do some nice little adjustments and changes to how just the entire GUI looks in Minecraft. Doesn't make any form of texture changes to mobs or any blocks, it's just a nice little other change that you may or may not like, you may not even care for, because you may not even notice it too much. Next we have the Bare Bones texture pack. Do you guys have watched those Minecraft trailers that Mojang release a lot? This texture pack is kind of taking that simplistic design that is used in a lot of these trailers, where it's basically the Minecraft textures, but simplified, brightened, and with some better saturation, a bit more brightness to the blocks, and just overall just a lot different, but also the same. I don't know. I don't know quite the best way to explain the aesthetic. It's just bare bones. It's a very simplified version of the texture pack with a little bit more brighter colors to it. Next we have the Faithless texture pack. Now this is a texture pack that is a far more bigger overhaul of a texture pack while still trying to stay true to the core of vanilla Minecraft. Now one of the biggest things I think I want to point out here is that this texture pack also keeps in mind accessibility options for people who, let's say, vision aren't as great and might not be able to defer the difference between multiple different items. Like let's say they're colorblind, they're not going to be able to see certain colors as easy because there are a lot of items that do share similar visual looks but are all completely different colors, and it kind of helps separate that by giving each item a more unique of its own shape, as well as spawn eggs will no longer just be a collection of eggs. Each actual spawn egg will be a pixelized version of the mob that it can spawn, making it far more easy to actually find the mob you're chasing in amongst that web of eggs, because even I know I have difficulties finding certain eggs that I'm chasing. Even though I know the colors and I'm not colorblind, I just have difficulty sometimes because it's a little difficult to discern the difference between a bunch of eggs half the time. So it being pixelized mobs is very interesting. One note to side though, there seems to be an issue with potion bottles right now. Usually they're 3D models whenever this texture pack is used, but there seems to be a bit of an issue happening with the most recent version, so be wary of that. It will probably change pretty quickly as more people bring it up, but overall a very awesome texture pack that I just recommend you use at any point because it's a very good visual overhaul of Minecraft anyhow, and if you need any form of accessibility stuff, this is really good for it. Next we have New Default Plus, and well, it kind of just goes off of its own name. It's effectively just taken the default Minecraft texture pack, the new default Minecraft texture pack, and just enhancing it a little bit more. There'll be some blocks where you'll be barely able to notice too much of a difference. Some blocks are going to be slightly brighter than before, just slightly nicer in color and saturation, and then there are going to be other things that are far more noticeable, such as the spawn eggs being just the mob painted over the egg itself rather than the spotted eggs that we would all know and used to and may or may not love too much. Overall, it's just a nice little aesthetic texture pack that it just does a lot of micro adjustments for most things, does some more major adjustments on very minimal amount of things, but it's just a nice, a little bit more colorful texture pack overall. Next we have the Creator Pack. So are you guys familiar with the Fateful texture pack from like back in the day, older Minecraft, the more enhanced, like slightly more detailed variation of the Minecraft texture pack? Kind of think of this being very similar to that in its vein, but taking a different approach to how it goes stylistically. It's still very similar to your default Minecraft texture pack that is slightly more enhanced and a little less pixely in a lot of places and just a lot more sharper in a lot of other places. I don't know, it's kind of like a nice mixture between new vanilla and the old school Fateful texture pack, at least in this style. There's of course various other texture packs that do very similar things, so this is just another one of those nicely made ones as well. Next we have the Epic Adventures texture pack. Now this is one of those more overhaul-esque texture packs, as it takes Minecraft into more of a fantasy RPG style of textures, like kind of similar to your Skyrims or your Witcher games. Like kind of similar to the aesthetics and textures that those games tend to aim for, this texture pack kind of aims to emulate in Minecraft, and it kind of looks beautiful in its own interesting way. There are some aspects that I'm not quite sure how to feel about, like the weapons and armor and bits and pieces like that, but the overall aesthetic and the design behind this is really beautiful in its own special way. You've probably played Minecraft rip-offs that kind of go for this style though, which is quite a funny thing just to think about. It's way better than that, of course, but you know, still funny to think about nevertheless. And now to go from one radically different style of Minecraft to all the way to the other side of the spectrum with the Tooniverse texture pack. This is a colourful, cartoonish nightmare. Okay, that's a bit of an over-exaggeration. It is a beautiful looking texture pack. It is very bright and very saturated, like very, very over the top with its colours, but I suppose it's the aesthetic that it's going for with the more cartoony style that it's aiming with the textures. There are some weird issues though. There do seem to be some blocks that are missing textures at this point in time, and the mob textures don't seem to be working properly, but either way it's still a beautiful cartoony-esque texture pack that I feel like is just perfect to have as a little bit of a way to drastically change the aesthetics of Minecraft if you really want to go in this direction of it, of course. To take things down a notch, we've got a GUI Retextures mod. This one's just called GUI Retextures texture pack. It is just another one of those ones that takes the Minecraft GUI and just slightly redesigns it a little bit. Again, it's going to be based upon your own aesthetics, on how you feel about this one. I'll be showing you like all the bits and pieces on screen currently, but overall, we're just going to move on to the next one, eh? Next we have Windscape, another overhaul of Minecraft's textures, being more of a pixel aesthetic than before, going far more in depth with the pixelated design, kind of similar to some of the more recent really cool indie games that are based on this 8-bit pixelated design that are really quite beautiful in a lot of different ways, and this one is honestly, as I said, quite beautiful. It's a really nice change of aesthetics that is overall really beautiful and really nice to just look at, and it's just like really good with its color mixing of the textures. It's just overall beautiful. Following suit, we've also got Pixel Perfection Legacy, another pixel-based design for textures, and this one's a lot more muted when compared to the previous one. This one's still really cool in its own way. It takes a little bit of a different design aesthetic than the previous one, being again a lot more muted with its colors, being a lot more it's not as saturated or as bright as the previous texture pack, which is really nice in its own special way. But again, it's another pixelated texture pack that is really honing in on the pixel-based design. Next we have the Vanilla Experience Plus, another very minimal texture pack that's not really aiming to do too much. It's kind of just taking the typical vanilla texture pack and adding in some very minor modifications to it, whether that be just a simple change to the game UI, whether that be some very simple minor texture pack adjustments that make it a little bit more nicer or just a little more designed orientated, maybe some color corrections on certain things, and then a redesign of the spawn eggs to make them make a little more sense. Overall, it's a simplistic texture pack. And then we have Dungeon Style. This is really just a texture pack all about taking the design aesthetics and just what textures that are available in Minecraft Dungeons and bringing them to normal Minecraft. Since there are a lot of textures that are slightly different or very different depending on the texture, like some weapon designs are a lot more detailed, a lot more beautiful than what they are in the vanilla Minecraft version, and then some are just like don't have any changes at all. It's just a nice little aesthetic texture pack that just brings what Minecraft Dungeon does with a lot of Minecraft's textures into Java Minecraft for you. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button down below, make sure to hit subscribe, and click this video on screen here to check out awesome Minecraft mods already available for 1.20. Bye bye!